penalized by ethnicity, Asian, white, and black men. What does science say? Are Asian men really smaller? Are black men really bigger? Are white men somewhere in the middle? Why do so many people believe these ideas? Where did these beliefs come from? And what does science actually say? Today, we are going to look at these topics through the lens of sexology, urology, biology, genetics, and scientific research, not rumors, not internet comments, not stereotypes, but what researchers have been trying to understand for decades. And by the end of this video, you may realize that the thing many men worry about the most is often not the thing that matters most in real life. Let's start with the first scientific fact. Human beings are extremely different from one another. Many people assume that if we divide people into ethnic groups, we can actually predict physical traits, but biology is rarely that simple. Even brothers from the same family can be very different. The same is true when we look at larger populations. Science studies averages, but averages are not individuals. This is one of the most important ideas to understand. Imagine a classroom. The average height might be 5 feet 9 inches. That does not mean everyone is exactly 5 feet 9 inches. Some are shorter, some are taller, some are much taller. The same principle applies to penis size. An average is simple, a mathematical center. It is not a prediction of what every individual person will be. Not less look at what large studies have found. Several major reviews in urology and sexual medicine have reported that the average erect penis length is approximately 13 to 14 centimeters, about 5 to 5.5 inches. Average erect circumference is roughly 11 to 12 centimeters, about 4.3 to 4.7 inches. These numbers come from thousands of measurements collected by researchers. What surprises many people is that most men fall within a relatively normal range. Extreme sizes are much less common than social media would make people believe. So what about ethnicity? This is where things become complicated. Researchers have attempted to compare populations from different countries and regions. However, these studies often have major limitations patients. Some studies are self-reported measurements, others use direct measurements. Some studies have small sample sizes. Others focus on only one country. Some compare different age groups. Because of these differences, results are often inconsistent. That is why many scientists are cautious when making claims about ethnicity and penis size. One of the most important findings in biology is this variation within a group is often greater than variation between groups. In simple English, this means the two men from the same country can differ more from each other than the average difference between two ethnic populations. This is something many people do not realize. When people hear statistics, they often imagine every person fitting perfectly into the statistic. Real life does not work that way. Let's talk about genetics. Does genes matter? Yes, genetics influence many physical characteristics: height, bone structure, muscle mass, body shape, and sexual development. However, there is no single penis size gene. Human development is influenced by thousands of biological factors interacting together. Genetics are important, but they are only part of the story. Hormones also play a role. Testosterone is one of the key hormones involved in male development. During puberty, hormones help regulate growth and sexual maturation. However, hormones alone cannot explain all differences between individuals. The human body is much more complex than that. Another factor is childhood health, nutrition, overall physical development, medical conditions, environmental influences. Three factors can affect growth throughout life. Scientists understand that human development is influenced by many variables working together. Now, let's discuss something that affects millions of men. What do so many men worry about this topic? The answer is comparison. More compare themselves constantly. Income, success, strength, appearance, status, and sometimes body measurements. The problem is that comparison often creates anxiety, especially when the comparison is based on unrealistic examples. Think about fitness. If someone only looks at professional bodybuilders, they may think every man should have the phys- physique, but professional bodybuilders are not average men. The same thing happens online with body image. People often comparing themselves to unusual examples rather than normal populations. This creates unnecessary insecurity. Another reason is media exposure. The human brain remembers dramatic examples. It does not remember ordinary examples as well. If people repeatedly see the same stereotype in movies, television, jokes, social media, or adult entertainment, they may begin to assume that stereotype represents reality. This is a psychological effect. Repeated exposure can make an idea feel true even when evidence is limited. So, what practical lessons can we take from all these? My solution number one: stop comparing yourself to selected examples. Most of what you see online is not representative of the average population. What you see is often filtered, selected, exaggerated, or decided is designed to attract attention. My solution number two: learn the difference between science and stereotypes. Stereotypes make assumptions about individuals. Those are not the same thing. Statistic can never fully describe a person. My solution number three: focus on what you can control: your health, your fitness, your confidence, your communication skills, your relationships, your discipline, your career. These factors influence your quality of life far more than endless comparison. What can viewers apply immediately? The next time you feel insecure, ask yourself for one question: am I comparing myself to reality, or am I comparing myself to an extreme example? The single question can completely change your perspective. Benefits you receive from me: you become more informed, you become harder to manipulate, you become less vulnerable to rumors, you gain a healthier understanding of science, and you develop greater confidence based on reality instead of stereotypes. My opinion: I believe one of the biggest mistakes men make is attaching their entire self-worth to a single physical measurement. Human value is much bigger than a number. Character matters, discipline matters, competence matters, responsibility matters, the way you treat people matters. My advice: use evidence instead of rumors, use science instead of stereotypes, use reality instead of fear, and remember that average describe groups, not individuals. My recommendation: invest your energy in improving the things that truly influence your future. Take care of your body, build useful skills, strengthen your mind, improve your relationships, develop confidence through action. Those investments will continue paying dividends for the rest of your life. My final thought: science teaches us something important. Human beings are not averages. Beings are individuals, and the strongest men are not the men who spend their lives comparing themselves to others. They are the men who understand themselves, accept reality, and focus on becoming the best version of who they really are. Thank you very much.